my friends. Welcome to my channel. My name is Stephanie and I am the New England Stitcher, and this is my channel all about cross stitch, quilting, knitting, and whatever else I get up into. Thank you so much for tuning in. It has been over a month and I do apologize, but when you see what I have on the table, you will see that I have been very busy. I am a school teacher and I do have the summers off, but I also work and I have lots of other jobs, and I also have a website, which I'm going to talk about when I show some of my new products, which I'm super excited about. So let's get started on, sadly, one whip, because all the things I've started, I have finished. And then I've finished a bunch of other things. So that's pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited about that. So it is August 12th, exactly 1 week before my baby, my younger girl, before she goes off to college and we bring her there. This is her quilt. Let's just talk about the finished product in the room right here. This is her quilt, and each of these squares are made from her baby clothes, and I decided to do it as flowers because my eldest daughter, her baby quilt, I think I showed it at one point. I did all hearts, and my younger daughter's Lily. She's my flower. So these are I decided to do them all in flowers. So the pattern actually is a table runner by Villarosa. I'll have to look for the pattern. It is somewhere under this big pile that's over here, and I will look for it and I will see and put it there at the bottom of the screen for you. And if I forget, please just send me an email or message me and I will happily get that to you. But it was so difficult and hard to do this quilt because she is my youngest, but it was also I guess healing, because when I was building this quilt and going through it, I had to go through all of her baby clothes. We had, during COVID, cut all their baby clothes into 5-inch squares because I knew that was the biggest size I was going to get from baby clothes. But it was a size that was manageable to work with, and I could still quilt something with it. I decided to use, it's going to be hard for you to see, but it's this tiny, tiny pin little dot of turquoise that I used as the background fabric because turquoise is her favorite color. I added the rickrack, which will bring it out. That's a Lori Holt rickrack. The back is minky because my daughter loves minky. This is the side she plans on showing on her bed at school, and then this is the side that'll be private. It is so heavy. I've got lots of pins up there holding it up because it is super duper heavy, but it quilted up great. We were a little worried about some of the spots. There is some heavier fabrics that we were worried about, but this was her father-daughter dance. I remember when we picked out, got a big mess over here with my hair. I remember picking it out at the store when we did that. This is an American Girl doll dress that she had. Her favorite American Girl doll stuff is at the bottom. It's Kit Kittredge's. Oh no, it's right here. Sorry. For any of you who know American Girl doll, Lily loved Kit Kittredge. Kit was her girl. And she had a very short little bob at the same time that looked just like Kit's. And I found on eBay the outfit that belonged to Kit. So she matched her doll, and that was like, so I ended up taking the skirt, and it was a pleated skirt, so I had to take out the pleats, and I turned it into this flower, so she'll always have Kit with her. There's lots of silky jammies. She was a jammy girl. So anyway, this is off to college. The only thing I still have to do for Lil is to make her the label that's going to go on the back, and I just haven't wrote it yet because it's hard, and I don't want to cry, so I'll get it done. I have a week. She leaves on Wednesday at the butt crack of dawn. She chose the earliest possible time because she wanted to pick which bed. Hopefully she gets a bed, but I told her it is what it is. Whatever happens is meant to be. So we're going on that path. But the summer has just flown by. It has been getting her stuff for college, getting everything ready. It's just getting all the doctor appointments. I also had a lovely root canal. Yay! I just went and had the cap put on, the permanent cap. So that was super fun. So let's talk about cross stitch. That's why you're here. That's why you watch the channel. Although, you know, there's lots of things that I do, and I hope you enjoy all of the things you see. I've got to meet a few of you in the shop. That has been so wonderful. I just met this week, or I guess this weekend that just passed, Lucia. She came and I got to meet her and her husband. And yes, I'll put a picture in. She gave me permission. It's just been lovely. And yeah. So the only whip I have to show you is the one I started at the pizza night with Jill back in, I think it was June. I did work on this a little bit more. This is a Teresa Kogut pattern. I don't have the cover. It is just the pattern, but this is it's called 250 Celebration. This is going to go on the top of the drum kit that I bought. Yes, I have cleaned my sewing space, and I've cleaned other parts of the house. I'm actually I've been doing a lot of house projects, trying to find the 3 missing cross stitches, and I still can't find them. I hope they're just gonna, I don't know. I'm hoping I'm gonna pick up during the whip parade at some point. I'm gonna open up a Whip-A-Keeper, and I'm gonna find these 3 finished cross stitches. I don't know what I did with them, and I'm so mad at myself. But this is what I've got done. I filled everything in. Once I get the 2 wings, it's pretty much done, because there's 2 flowers and 1776 and 2026. So this is what I will put on top of my drum once I finish it. I've been stitching. If you follow me for this, follow my channel, you will know that I did spend a lot of time stitching patriotic this year because of America's 250. I wanted to beef up my patriotic. I think I'm kind of getting done. I mean, it's been since January. Like, my push has been since January, and it's been 8 months. And I do want to finish what's in this bag. I have I have that pattern that's been started, that whip, and I also have this whip, which I don't think I got any further than the last time, but I'll show it. But this is also in there. This is the Liberty. This is by House of Stitches. So I was torn last video. I was asking you guys about the last video I was asking you about how the Liberty is going with the way the floss is, and everybody said just keep going with it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I just need to. Letters go quickly. And I was going through, because I was looking for those missing projects, I was going through some other of my keepers, and I saw some that I really want to pick back up and get done. So I think it's hard for me to say that I'm going to be a monogamous stitcher, but I do know that when I'm monogamous, I get crap done. So I think that's where I'm going to have to go for a little bit. But anyway, that's the only whip I have. I have all the starts, because there's a lot of starts. All the starts were finished. So that's good, right? Let me show you my start. This is my short sock. My girls have each requested socks for Christmas, and they don't want the tall ones, they want the short ones. So here I am with my short sock, and it's coming along just swell. I'm almost to the point where I need to taper for the toe, but it's getting easier. It's getting much easier, and I'm getting faster. So that's good. So that's my first of the shorties to work on. So let's see some finishing. I will save my favorites for last because I am so excited. I have a group of friends that I'm texting, and I texted them at like 9:30 at night, and I was like, oh my gosh, guys, I am in love. I'm so excited about these finishes, but I'm gonna make you wait a little bit longer. So here we go. This is a Brenda Gervais. I believe this is the rose, rabbit in the rose. Used the whisper fabric, or the whisper thread, for the bunny's tail. I finished it into a pillow. I added some rickrack. It's the same rickrack that I used on the quilt behind me. I finished a whole roll of the Lori Holtz spool, and there was a little bit left. So I thought I would add the turquoise or teal to bring that teal out a little bit more. I also used this flowery fabric that I had in my stash. I honestly do not know the collection that I got it from, but I don't care. I think it looks great. I'm getting better at my my ladder stitch, the hidden stitch. I'm working on it. It's getting better, and I'm feeling more comfortable doing it. So I just finished it with poly. I did not add any walnut shells. I think I have to get some more walnut shells. I'll tell you why in a little bit. So this is one of my finishes. Another finish, which is a long time coming, and this is related to the reason I don't have very much walnut shells left. I taught a drum class with Pam at her shop, Stitch New England. It's in Plainville, Massachusetts. I taught this 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. And it was awesome. There was 12 girls that signed up, 10 showed, and everybody finished, like they left with a finished drum. Some people just had to finish stitching on the top, but they had all of the parts filled. They had all the rest of the stuff they needed. And it was successful, and I'm so proud of them. I saw Jane. She showed Chris. Jane and Chris are the boss stitchers. Amy was there from Two Cross Stitchers with Mary Lou from New Hampshire. Mary Lou wasn't there, but Amy was there. Cindy was there. Our good friend Cindy. Safe travel, Cindy. She's moving to Virginia, so we're very happy. Sad, but we're happy for her. So yeah, it was a lot of fun because I got to see friends and meet new people, and people felt like they can do it. That's great. There was a couple of people that were like, no, I'm not going to do this again. But for the most part, everybody wanted to do it again. And for those of you who don't know, doing a drum, there is a lot of hand stitching. So you have to kind of just be ready for that. So I had brought with me 3 pieces. I wasn't sure how involved I needed to show people, but really just talking them through it worked really well. I did bring stuff just in case I needed to show and model, and I would use my own things. So I had brought with me this primrose. It was a free pattern, the Primrose Lucky, and I did it excuse me, it always happens when I talk to you. So I brought my oval templates and I brought my circle templates to show people some options when they're finishing their drums. You can make an oval drum, especially when you have something like this, where if I had had the word lucky and I had done it as a drum, it would be really hard to read it. So doing an oval drum allows you to do that. So what I did was I just used fabrics on either side and the top, and I used the same fabric on the bottom. And it really, I think, makes the stitch stand out. So I know it's not St. Patrick's Day, but it works. And I did a little of the Lady Dot rickrack. This is my for a drum. I love the mini pom-poms and I love the mini rickrack. It just curls around it so well. So I glued it on with my my glue pens. I'm not sure if I have one handy. If I do, when I get up the rest of my stuff, I'll show you. So this was one of my finishes. And the other drum finish I have is Bluebirds of Happiness. So this is an example. Maybe I should have done it as an oval, but I think it works perfectly fine as a circular drum. So this is circular. I used the same linen on the bottom. So you can do that, folks. You can absolutely do that. And if you notice, oh, sorry, there's lots of fuzzies. If you notice, there's like, you really have to do a lot of stitching. My husband picked it up and he was like, how did you make this? And I was like, oh, I just, so I was explaining to him and he's like, what's it filled with? He's like, it's heavy, but it doesn't feel, he's like, it's holding its shape. He thought that the walnut shells would be like kind of floppy and loosey-goosey, but you gotta jam them in there. So as I was saying to the girls at the drum class, when you think you're done, you're not done. I was tapping it on the table, like, when you have any of your, if you've ever seen somebody do concrete work and they stick like a vibration thing inside to like get all the air bubbles out, that's kind of what you got to do with the walnut shells. So tap, 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 get those walnut shells down. And I just stick a couple pins. There's my French General blue fabric. I think this was Sacre Bleu or something blue. Anyway, this is May the Bluebirds of Happiness always reside within you. And that is my stitch. So those are 3 finishes I have. Now, this finish is a long time coming. Sorry, I almost dropped something. I started this pattern, I think it was Memorial Day. And I started this set, Stars and Stripes, with my friends. So I know that Brandy, Nisi, and I started stars. Jill, she started the ampersand. And Sarah started stripes. So we all kind of, did our own thing. And here is my finish. Guys, I'm so excited. I know, I'm a weirdo. But here it is. Okay, let's talk about this. So for the fabric I used was the Color and Cotton that had come out in, I think I'm in the Fabric Club, and I think it was May. It was Palomino, because yes, it was Palomino. Jill and I and Sarah all did this on the Palomino. And I used all the called for colors. Look at that trim. So I did the small rickrack, and then I stitched on little beads. Guys, how cute is that? It's so cute. And I didn't use any walnut shells. I just used polyfill. And then on the back is stars, because this is stars. And Jill, I gave her this fabric, and I also gave her the stripes. So she is going to do the ampersand half stars and half stripes, because she's in the middle. And that's what the ampersand looks like. And then when I get to finish stripes, I'm going to use the stripes that match Jill. So very exciting, very excited. Now I can display it. So that was another finish. I had a finishing day. My friend Sarah, Jill, Linda Jean came over on a Sunday, and we were finishing things. I showed them how to do a few things, and I finished one. But I'm so excited. Sarah wanted to know how to finish on a spool, and I was like, yes, I have the perfect one to finish. And this was just sitting in my drawer, waiting for somebody to come and play with, and here it is. So this is the Lady Liberty, I think that's what it's called, from Teresa Koget. And then the back, this was because of Helen. I did a little corset, and I did red, white, and blue buttons because she's patriotic. And that's my spool. And it's just tied with a little bow at the back on the bottom. So I can take it off if I want to. But do I really want to? No, because she's so precious and she's so pretty, and I love her so much. Oh, guys, I just make myself laugh at myself. That's all. All right. Now, are you ready for another finish? I know you are. Here is my other finish. That's right. I got a pair. I am so excited, guys. I am so excited. Although, my fat cat. I love my cats. But the fat cat loves wool. And this is wool. And there's a pull. And there's a pull. And I had them on the counter to not forget to bring them to you guys. And tell me how to get the pulls out. or fixed? Please, in the comments. Do I use a crochet hook? I don't know. All right, that's for another day. But I have 2 socks. I'm so excited, and they fit. Yay! So I washed them. They smell so good. I used the, I think it was CMS Supply Co. I think that's the name of it, but I got the name from Nisi, my friend. She loved the way they smelled, and they do smell really good. So that was a finish. All right, are you ready for another knit? Because I'm still saving the best for last. Hold on, friends. Ugh. Okay, here it is. I don't think you saw her with her handles. Okay, so let's talk about this for a moment. If you look at the top, I actually used the yarn and made it so that it was, I don't know, what do you call it? Tucked in, like a tuck. So you can kind of see it. And then I cut a piece of acrylic at the bottom. I guess I could cover it in fabric, but it's at the bottom. Does it matter? I don't know. Tell me what you think. Then so I riveted my leather straps, and then I added this magnetic, riveted magnetic button, and here it is. And so my eldest daughter, Jules, she saw it and she said she would like one that is gray and with a purple stripe. So I think if I do it again, Jules said she likes it this size, but I thought if I were to do it again for me, I would probably make this top a little bit taller. So, but I'm pretty proud of it. I kind of just had to trust the process. I don't have a agitator in my laundry, in my washing machine. I have a front loader. So, I didn't felt it in my washing machine. I felt it in my kitchen sink. And I did that. I watched a couple YouTube channels and they just kind of like rubbed it with their hands. And I was rubbing it like I was taking it like this, and I was like, being aggressive. I ended up getting 2 blisters on either side of my fingers from like rubbing it together. But that's a felted bag. Can you believe it? Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's so good. I am so proud of this. I have to, because my cat loves wool, I have to keep this bag on the top of my refrigerator where he cannot get to. How sad is that? It's really sad. Maybe I'll just leave it down here until I like using it. I'm thinking about using it in the winter. What do you think? Thoughts? All right, I did have another finish. So I have 2 friends that are quilters, Cheryl and Melissa, and they wanted to learn how to make a bag, like be a bag maker, and they didn't really know where to start. So one of the easiest patterns to start with is the Holland pouch, and that is what we made. So I taught them how to do it. We did it together, step by step, but we also made it so that it is vinyl on the inside, which is nice. Excuse me. It's nice because if you have makeup that explodes, you can just wipe it out. Pretty cool, right? So this is all Tilda fabric, very old Tilda fabric, not as old Tilda fabric. Yeah, so this is the Holland pouch. All right, finishes. So this pattern is Tomato. It's by Needle and Moss. It's an online PDF purchase. And I decided that I was requested. One of my friends and viewers, Kathy, she requested a size 20 count template to help her cut the fabric and the interfacing to make the finishing easier. So I needed to stitch it in order to do to make a template. So if you know me, that's just how my brain works. I can't just make a template without having a model. So I stitched, I only had the only 20 count. I didn't have a 20 count red. I had a 20 count orange linen. So I thought, okay, let's do it, and I'll make a pumpkin. And here it is. Now, just remember, I only did one stitched panel. The rest of the panels are just the linen. And here it is. Guys, look at this. So I used, I know it's got, sorry, threads, because there's always threads in my sewing space. So here it is. And my vines is the paper covered wire. My leaf is a piece of felted wool that I stitched the veins of the leaf on. And the pumpkin top is a Lady Dots pumpkin top. I ordered it for the Heart and Hands-On Design crow pumpkin from last year, so I have 2 more that I can use. And I gave up one freely to finish this, and I am obsessed. Part of me is a little sad that I didn't do all the other panels, but honestly I didn't want to stitch this 18 times because there's 6 panels and I was doing 3 sizes. So you're only getting one side, one panel from each side. So there's that one. Yay! The next one is the 1836 count, and this was I was watching Fried Green Tomatoes. I wanted my girls to see it. I feel like it was just one of those movies that they should watch, so I made them watch it, and here it is. So again, same idea. On this one, I didn't press my seams open. I should have pressed my seams open. That is why I've got this ripple, and it's annoying me, but I have to get over it. So here is, here it is. I actually this was my first time using water lily silks, and it worked out really well. I love the way that it looks. I love the variegation. I do a button again on the bottom. I do a button on the top. And that gives it that little indentation to hold it. I used that method when I made Tilda's pumpkins last year. I had a pumpkin class that I taught. Now this leaf is a template that comes with the pattern, and it's also going to come as an acrylic piece from, if you decide to purchase my sets on my website, but we'll get to that after. And what I did was I made the piece, because it's one long piece, and I cut a slit, and she tells you to cut the slit too, but she wants you to stick a piece of wire. Well, since I already had the button, I thought I'm gonna just, so my button, it's like a buttonhole, and so now the button keeps my leaves in place. So there's my fried green tomato. All right, and then the last one is stitched on 32 count Aztec red. This was Weeks Agave, I believe. I think it was Weeks Agave. And I don't remember what water lily color the thread was. Here's my 16, I can't count, 1632. Here's my 1632. So in case you didn't notice, I did A, B, C. So the pumpkin is A, this one was B, and then the 1836 is C. Those were the 3 panels that I used. And here's my button, and here's my button on the top, and there's my leaves. She does tell you that you can adjust to make the leaves bigger or smaller, but guys, I don't know, I feel like the button kind of leaves that, you know, when you have a tomato and you lose the top, it has that little concave space, and I feel like that button does that trick. What, you gotta tell me what you think of these. So how did I finish them? So let me talk you through that. So I made, like I said, I made 3 panels. So this is the panel for, I know it's hard to see because I don't have the paper on it, because these were the ones I used. These were my testers, I cut the fabric using the outside shape, and I lined up using the inside hole. I lined up the stitch and laid it on top to make sure it was all inside, and then I traced and I cut my outside. The inside I used for my fusible, because you do want to fuse your pieces. If you don't fuse your pieces, your polyfill it'll come through the linen or the Aida that you use. So it's really important to fuse your pieces of linen or Aida so that you don't have anything pushed through. If you know, I'm gonna be for real with you. This one, I only interfaced this piece. And if you look very carefully, you can see the polyfill wanting to come through my holes. So do as I say, not as I did, because this was the first one that I made. Interface all your panels. And this size tells you this size tells you the correct dimensions for the interfacing, because the interfacing just goes over your stitch. And then I will include pictures of how I did it, but I didn't do any of the back stitching because, number one, I didn't want to. Number two, I knew I was going to make it this way because it's very similar to the way I made the Tilda pumpkins, where I sewed face to face and I used my sewing machine and I stitched my edges. So I have the panels, the templates available in 1632, in 1836, here it is, the second one, and then the other version is 2040. Will I do a 1428? Possibly, but I have so many other things. I figured this would be a good start. And that that tomato would be ginormous. So here's the 1632, just to give you guys some idea. If you can, I mean, if you want it that big, that's fine. Maybe we'll email me and maybe we can work out a thing where you send me your stitch, because I really don't want to stitch them again. But I would if I needed to. So those templates, I'm going to be cutting them this week, and they should be in the shop hopefully on Friday or this weekend. That way they're there if you are working on finishing them. So if you decide you want to do the back stitching, you can absolutely do the back stitching. Again, the back stitching would be right here. That's the line for the back stitching would be. This outer line is it's a safe way to cut your fabric to a dimension that is manageable, right? I am an in-hand stitcher, so holding a really big piece of fabric, I don't enjoy. So I try to, at every single time, have a piece that's manageable. The other thing too is you can use it if you wanted to lay out your pieces of fabric. You could draw a line with a friction pen so you know exactly how many you could get in that fabric. That's another thing you could do. There's lots of ways, but the fusible, helping you to cut the fusible, it's a really cool thing. Let's see, what else? Oh, so do you remember how I was talking about that Sunday that I had the girls come over and we did a finishing class? Well, the next day is my day off. Mondays are my day off. So I was talking to them about table gifts and things like that. And one of the things I've wanted to do for a while is candy corn. And what I did was I came up with this pattern right here. And this one is a real version because I have I gave one of the ladies I work for, her little girl saw my model and she fell in love with it. So I gave her my template. So that's why you're seeing this. This is it. The template shows you how big to cut your fabric pieces. So you're going to need 3 pieces of fabric. The first one, second one, and the third one. And you sew them together in a long strip. And then you take your template and you trace it. And here it is. So you trace it and then you sew on the line that you traced. And you're going to put, if you want the pinked version, you put bad sides to bad sides, leave a hole at the bottom, stuff it, and then you just sew it, and then you pink the edges. If you wanted to do a turned in version, you do good sides to good sides, and then again, sew all around, leave a hole, and then stuff it, and then so you can see what it would look like in a turned in and pinked edges. I think so far most people have liked the pinked edges. It gives it a little bit more rustic feel. Also, it's faster, right? You don't have to turn, you just don't have to turn it, which is really nice. You just sew it, cut it. So pinked edges are really nice for that too. So if you are interested in those, I do have those on my website. Another product that somebody had been asking me for, she kept sending me pictures and saying, please make this, is a gingerbread man. So here is my gingerbread man. This, I used a mini charm pack, and I interfaced the squares and then sewed them together to do a quick patchwork. And then I personally put felt on the back, and I was showing this to a lady at the shop because we have another set at the shop that comes with the mini charm pack. And with that mini charm pack, you can make 4 of these because it takes 9 pieces, and there's 42 in a set, blah, blah. She said she was going to, on the fabric that's on the back, she was going to embroider with her machine the back piece that had the name of the kid that this is for, and then make them into ornaments. And I thought, that is such a brilliant idea. So here is my little gingerbread person. And I just took a piece of homespun that I had, tied it around as a scarf, and there you go. And oh, sorry, here's the template. And again, it works the same way. You just trace, sorry, that's my thing, my alarm telling me it's bedtime or to get ready for bed. You just trace around, and then you sew, and then you cut. And I left my hole in the space here because I wanted to make sure I could use my purple thing to, it's also called a bodkin, to be able to stuff my pillow. So that's another template I have. And the final template I have to show you is the Home for the Holiday stocking. So I got a request from a viewer, and she asked me if I had the book Home for the Holidays. I had to look at my, I have a website, or not website, I have a spreadsheet that has all of my patterns that I own in it to see if I actually had it, and I did. It's the one with the cardinal, 'tis the season, and I didn't know there were stockings in it because I was so focused on the cardinal. There are 5. There are 5 stockings, and they are big stockings, but they are really cool. So she asked me if I would make the template. This is the template that goes with the called for fabric, and I can't remember off the top of my head if it's 30. I think it's 32. So this is the called for. But I thought, you know, if you're a person who has a stocking template, well, what else can you do if you finish the stitch and you're not going to stitch it again? Well, you can make stocking ornaments. So this sock made this ornament, and it just obviously it got smaller because I stuffed it, but I used that same type of woven on the back, but it was really easy. So if you are like me and you haven't stitched the sock or the stocking yet from Home for the Holidays, you could still make a super cute little ornament. So those are the templates that I have in my shop. Now it's time for haul. For haul, it's pretty light because I did just buy another sewing machine, but I'm excited. It'll be good. It'll help me make more bags, right? More bags, and then you guys get the bags if you want the bags, you know, that kind of thing. And it's got more power, so it'll go faster. Yay, I like to drive fast on the sewing machine. All right, my haul for this time is the June Fabric of the Month from Swan Bay Fabrics. And it is a beautiful, beautiful neutral. And I don't see a name on it. I think it's in the package. The other piece of haul that I have is Color and Cotton's Queen Anne, 36 count. And it's a really pretty. So I have another piece of haul, and the other piece of haul that I have is from was influenced by Java Girl Stitches, and she showed on her channel the tiered tray from the dollar store that was a bat. My Dollar Tree has not gotten theirs in yet. They have the acorn and they had the pumpkin. So I purchased the pumpkin, and it is just the sweetest thing. Really cool. I didn't know if you guys knew this, but when you're looking for them, they're completely flat, and you just have to, the tray, flop it down on the metal, and it clicks in and it stands up. You can't put a whole lot on it because it's not like, overly large, but it's a cute little fall decor. Oh, and another thought for those of you who are going to a retreat and you have lots of little snacky poos, because it folds flat, this would be great for the center of one of your table, the tray, a tiered tray for the center of your table that doesn't take up a whole lot of space. It's not a whole lot of room, but at least you can pile your snacks on it, and it's cute, and it's nice because it does fold flat. Just a thought. When I was with some friends, I have been looking for some fabric to make a bag out of, some canvas fabric, and I fell in love with this. So it is already quilted, and it's ready to be turned into a bag. I believe this bag is the one that I'm going to turn it into the Bienni's travel bag, or as many people know, like the Apon bag. But it's going to be the travel bag, and this is the inside color. It's the poppy fabric from Tilda, and this outer fabric, oh, it's just so gorgeous. I forget who it's by. It's a botanical fabric by Allie K Design, and like I said, it's just gorgeous. And we just got at the quilt shop today, a new fabric came in. A new fabric line came in by Three Sisters, and we got 2 canvases. One is navy blue. It is gorgeous. So if you're a French general, like, blue lover, this is like, it's going to be like so up your alley. So that is a purchase. What else do I have for purchases? Yes, I have fabric. It's for keepers. It's over there. I will promise to show it to you when I start to make the keepers, which I am planning to do as soon as my children leave me and go off to college. Because what else am I going to do? I have some Stitchy kindness. Would you like to see that? So my friend Melissa, she knew I was looking for some scissor fabric, and she found this Ruby Star scissor fabric, and I thought, how cute. So I'm going to make something out of this. The girls at the quilt shop, they meet with their representative from different fabric companies like Moda and Riley Blake, and their fabric person from Moda gave them some patterns, and they are cross stitch patterns, and they're so cute. So this is Silent Night. Ooh, sorry. This is Silent Night by It's So Emma. And this is Scrappy Americana Flag, again by It's So Emma. That is really cute. I'm wishing that I had seen it earlier. And this one I'm super duper excited about because I have this bag. This is by Kim Deal. And you know I like stitching on bags. I'm going to be truthful, I don't think that I would make my sheep with all those little circles on it. I think I would just make like a black sheep. Because as a redhead, being a black sheep of the family, it's kind of a real thing. Also, I'm a lefty, so there is another black sheep. So they gave those to me because nobody at the shop is a cross stitcher, and I do. So maybe 1 or 2 of those will be going to you. All right, another piece of amazing Stitchy kindness. My friend Mary Lou, she sent me this knitting bag, and I am so excited. It is a pull, which if you know, you know, because my kitties love wool. It closes, and it's got the little doodads to lock it, so the fat boys can't get my yarn. So this is awesome. Mary Lou, Thank you so much. I love it, love it, love it. It's just beautiful. And another friend, Jean. Jean is the one who inspired me and instructed me on how to make the knitted felted bag. And she's friends with this lady who lives, I want to say out west somewhere, maybe Ohio. I don't remember. But she got 3 boxes of yarn, and she was like, and patterns, and she was like, I am not going to be able to stitch it all. So she shared with me, and I feel so blessed to be recipient of these things. So this is some self-striping yarn that she shared, which I'm pretty excited about. And there's some colors like my husband, like that are great for my husband, because right now he's only got 1 pair of socks, and now he might have some more. And there's some books in here and some patterns, and just like so incredibly generous. There's some felted bag patterns. Guys, I'm really excited about those. This one is looking like, sorry, it's all banged up. But yeah, felted bucket bag, I can do that. So I'm excited. I'm really excited about it. So we'll see. And it's just, there's a lot. So that's it. In the spirit of paying it forward and sharing what I have, I would like to pass this along to somebody. It's perfect timing because the fall is right around the corner. Unfortunately, we have to go back to school in no, I love teaching, but I hate giving up this summer. So if you're a teacher, you understand, you know. And I'm sorry if you've already started school, but that's okay because you were out earlier than me. Yeah. So anyway, this is Midnight Ride by Blackbird Designs, and I have 2 copies because I saw one on a giveaway table and grabbed it because it's Blackbird, but I already had it. So I am passing it along to you. If you would like this Midnight Ride pattern, please leave the word Blackbird, and I will enter you into the raffle, or not raffle, but the drawing, and you could possibly win. So I hope that you have enjoyed your time with me. I hope that you have maybe seen something, or maybe I inspired you. But I just love being here with you, and I love sharing my progress on things with you, and I'm just happy and blessed by this community, and I love seeing you all. So if you do make it to the quilt shop, please stop in and say hi. I always love meeting you guys. So that is all. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.